Nobody else is talking. Okay, GBP USD as well. Okay, GBP USD, BTC USD. Okay, so let's talk about the BTC USD first. Let's talk about the BTC USD. So, as you can see, you guys all know that BTC USD has not really been doing so well. Like a lot of people has lost a lot of funds trading BTC USD this period because it has not really been doing what we are all expecting to for BTC USD to do. So as you guys all know, so I trade price action, top-down analysis is how results to our trade, how we get to take trades. So top-down analysis simply analyzing the market from the higher time frame down to the lower time frame. So just to analyze the market from the higher time frame down to the lower time frame. Like I said in our class, that analyzing the market from the higher time frame, you just like climbing a skyscraper. When you climb a skyscraper, you basically see the view of the whole city or the community. You basically see the view of the whole city and community. So whenever any street is bad, when you come down from that skyscraper, you can actually identify the street that is bad because you saw it from a bigger view. So that is what top-down analysis basically help us to do. Help us to analyze the market from the higher time frame to the lower time frame, so that whenever we come down to the lower time frame, we can know what to do and do it properly. So I'm going to clear up. Let me just clear up this chart. Perfect. So let's analyze this BTC USD. So I want to start because of how BTC USD have been falling. I want to start from the weekly time frame. No need of going. Let me just go for the go to the monthly time frame for reference purpose. So this is the monthly time frame for BTC USD. This is the monthly time frame for BTC USD. So when you see this on the 1 month time frame, it clearly shows us everything, the picture of what BTC USD have been doing. So that is the essence of going to the higher time frame. So on the monthly time frame, we can see that BTC USD is massively was going up, was an uptrend market, but we are getting to see a pullback. We saw this massive pullback. We saw this massive pullback on BTC USD. We saw this massive pullback on BTC USD. We saw this massive pullback on BTC USD. So, but nevertheless, it happens in the market. I guess we saw most of us predicted this thing earlier before now, but we are not expecting it to still pull back to this point again because it has already pulled back. So, because we saw it here, 2022, we saw the market did something like this 2022. When the market created the all-time high in 2021, 2022, when the market created all-time high, we saw the market pull back. We saw the market pull back. People were saying Bitcoin is going to crash. People were saying Bitcoin is going to crash. Bitcoin is going to crash. So, and to our greatest surprise, I saw Bitcoin then at $18,000, 2022. I saw Bitcoin $18,000, and in our very before, we saw Bitcoin going back to the top, and Bitcoin went as far as $23,000, $123,000. So what happened 2022 here is basically what is happening here. It's basically what we are seeing here. But this move, Bitcoin, the drop was massive than that of 2022. So, but however, we predicted it or we are expecting it to drop, but not as this. So let's quickly go to the weekly time frame, where we are going to get a better structure of the markets. So on the weekly time frame, we can see this good view of the market right from 2020 down to today. So Why I was expecting Bitcoin to drop around this period, like December last year, I was expecting Bitcoin to drop to this point. I was expecting Bitcoin to drop to this point. Before I say that, let's identify our zone. That's our support levels and resistance level. So I'm going to be identifying our major zones in the markets, our major support level and our major resistance level. So this market reacted there first. This was the first reaction the market created, one of the major reaction in 2021. This one happened in 2022. Then we have these other reactions here, then this place. So let's identify those major zones. So if I'm drawing from, like I said, if you want to identify your zones, you draw from your left hand side to the right hand side because you analyze from your left to your right. So let's draw from this point to this point. I'm taking it from this point to this point. So if you are joining on TikTok, double tap on your screen. So you're analyzing from this point to this point. Sorry, I'm trying to set my cam for TikTok users. So can you see my screen clearly? Those on TikTok. So we are analyzing from the left-hand side down to the right-hand side. So I just identify one of the major zone I can see. One of the major zone I can see. If you are joining, double tap on your screen. Then the next thing I want to also identify other zones I can see, other support level and resistance level. So let's identify them. I pick my two and I draw. So after this, I think I will just be identifying few ones here. Then we'll go to the lower time frame. We're going to also identify other zones. So this is the zone I drew on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, this is the zone I can draw. So we saw this massive movement, higher highs. Let me draw it so that you guys can see clearly. Higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low, higher high. So we are supposed to have something like a higher low around this axis, higher low around this axis. Let's say this, and another higher high to the upper side. But the markets were able to create a higher high, it failed and create a lower high, and we saw a lower low. The market took out this low, we saw a lower low, and it came back to this point. So it was this lower low that the market created that created this massive move that's dropped here, that created this massive move to this point. So like I said, they have a change of trend. When market change from uptrend to downtrend and from downtrend to uptrend. So market don't just stay in uptrend direction. It doesn't just stay in downtrend direction. So most time market change trend because forex is a fight between the buyers and the sellers. It's an economic fight between the buyers and the sellers. So you intend to see the market changing trend as often as the market can, as often as policies are being made by the government. One of the reasons why Bitcoin went to 122K was because of Donald Trump, because he said he welcomed Bitcoin, and immediately he won his election last year, we saw that Bitcoin traveled. So those are the policies that can affect the markets negatively or positively. Now, the Bitcoin dropping, some people say is affecting them negatively. Why some people are happy about it? Because they missed the other movement. They missed when Bitcoin was in $60,000, and they can see the future right now, and they are very happy that Bitcoin came back to $60,000 so that they can take more buy. So whether you like it or not, Bitcoin is the future, and Bitcoin is here to stay. So this, what is currently happening, because I saw some people saying Bitcoin is crashing, Bitcoin is not it. Whether you like it or not, this is market, and this is market structure. it's only is respecting market structures, and we are going to see Bitcoin in no distant time going back to where it was, which is around 120K plus. So we saw the market change trend here from uptrend to downtrend. So if you draw a trend line around this axis, you are going to see that the market changed trend. If you draw your trend line around this axis, you are going to see that the market changed trend from uptrend to downtrend here. So this is it: higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. And this was where the market changed trend, because this zone could not hold the market could not go above this low, and that is why we saw the breakout of this zone, and this market bettered this move that happened this week. This move. So let's just proceed. I'm just trying to let you guys get a bigger view and a clearer view of everything, and I want you guys to understand this, because once you understand the market from a bigger picture, when you come to the smaller picture, you find it so easy to trade. Those on the Telegram, can you guys hear me? Those on the Telegram, if you can hear me, just let me know that you can hear me. I'm not on the Telegram because I shared my screen. If you can hear me, let me know. So, okay. So now let's go to the 1 day time frame. If you are joining on TikTok, please double tap on your screen. Let's go to the 1 day time frame on BTC USD. So this is the 1 day time frame. Now, when you go to the 1 day time frame, you are not going to be seeing those big picture of the market. Everything you've been seeing before, you're not going to be seeing it, but you already have an idea of what the market has done, or of what the market was doing. So you already have an idea of what the market has done previously. So that is the essence of going to the higher time frame, so that you can have a bigger picture of what the market did, so that you can take advantage of those reactions of the market. So this is the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, can you hear me now? Somebody say you can't hear me clearly. I think I'm clear enough now. I'm using a mic. Yeah, it's your network. So on the daily time frame, you can see the picture of the market. The picture of the market, what the market is currently showing us. So the market is currently showing us chart of 2025 to date. That is what the market is showing us on the daily time frame. So, however, on the weekly time frame, we saw the market showing us chart of years. I think chart of since 2020 to date. That's 6 years. The market showed us chart of 6 years, and with that picture of 6 years, we can now tell what the market is going to do tomorrow, next tomorrow, and beyond. So that is it. We go back to our daily time frame. Now on the daily time frame, the next thing we want to find other support levels and resistance level. Find other support levels and resistance level on the daily time frame. So when you see on the daily time frame, we can basically identify few support level and resistance level. However, the zones we identify from the weekly time frame still holds. So only thing you can do on those zones is just to adjust them. If there's any adjustment, you just to probably adjust them. You can see that zone hold. This let's just move it to the zone hold here, like that. That's for that one. So this one as well, the zone hold. So I will just probably adjust it a little bit. I'll just probably adjust it a little bit to the up. Yeah. So I'll adjust that a little bit to the up. Then I think that's okay for on that. So on the daily time frame, we're already seeing a downtrend market. We're already seeing a downtrend market. We have this massive lower low, lower high, lower low. We have this lower low, lower high, and a lower low and a low. But this low has not been probably taken because we had something. We had this low. We had this low here before. There was a low here. So this one has not been taken. So this low has not been taken. Oh shit. So this low has not been taken. Let me just remove this. This is better. So this low has not been taken out. So I cannot say this is a lower low. So this market still came back to this low. And however, we expect the market to probably break out from this zone or start moving to the up from this zone. So let's draw our trend line. Let's draw our trend line on the lower time frame. So let's draw our downtrend trend line. So you draw your trend line from the left hand side, from your swing high to your swing low. So ideally, I was thinking this trend line is going to react to this before reacting to this. So because of it didn't react to this, I can say this is an invalid trend line. I can say this trend line is not yet valid. I can say it's not yet valid unless the market comes to this point. Unless the market comes to this point and pull back before I can say this trend line is a valid trend line. So for now, it's an invalid trend line. It's an invalid trend line because a valid trend line must react to zone 2 or more times. So the third touch makes it valid. So there's no third touch that will make the trend line a valid one. So for now, it's an invalid trend line. So for now, it's an invalid trend line. So let's just, on the daily time frame, what we can see this major reaction here. So this major reaction here cost a lot of people. So with the scalpers, some people lose money here, while some people made money here. But this whole ranging around these axis costs a lot of people their money. Those people that were buying and were selling around these axis, the market were playing with their feelings and the rest. So one thing about the market, you need to understand that we have one market range, and we don't trade the ranging market. So whenever you are seeing a ranging market, you just need to avoid the market because the market is trying to make decision. The market is trying to make its decision whether to go to the upside or to go to the downside. So avoid ranging market and wait for the necessary breakouts. So let's dive to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we cannot see a clear picture of the market. On the 4-hour time frame, we cannot see a clear picture of the chart. This is it on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, when you draw your trend line here, your swing low to your swing high, you can basically see where the market change trend from uptrend to downtrend. You can basically see where the market change trend from uptrend to downtrend here. So, and after the market change its trend here, we saw it coming to the downside. We saw the market moving down, massive movement. So I'm just trying to bring us back to why we got to this point. I'm just trying to recap so that we can now know what to do in the markets. So if you draw your trend line here, if you draw your trend line from your swing low, from your swing high to your swing low here, you can see that even after we came to the lower time frame, we still have just 1 and 2 touch. Even after we came to the lower time frame, we just have 1 and 2 touch here, which makes the trend line invalid. The trend line is invalid doesn't mean you cannot get a sell setup. If a downtrend trend line is invalid, doesn't mean you cannot get a sell setup in the market. It just means that you cannot use your trend line to trade, but you can use other zones like the support levels and the resistance level. So if you want to start identifying our support levels and resistance level on this chart, then you can now start picking the major zones where price reacted. You pick them. You can see this zone. You can see this zone that market reacted. You can see this zone that market reacted. We have the support level, support level, support level. The market breaks it, retests it, and that was what brought this movement to the downside. Like I said, whenever market breaks support level, it goes up to turn resistance, and the former support turn resistance, and we take ourselves from the resistance level, and that was what took this movement to the ups and to the downside. So for some people who saw this would have taken their sell from this point, would have taken their sell from that point down to this point, down to this zone. Now this zone is a major zone. This bigger zone is a major zone we drew on the higher time frame. So some people would have taken this sell. Like I said, we are just having a market recap and insights. So that is why I'm not just going to analyze what we are going to see. I'm going to tell us what has been happening and how would have partake from it. But however, from next week, we are going to see a lot of movement in the market, and hopefully we are going to take some pips out of it. So some people saw this opportunity and they took it. So now back to this particular place where price is currently. Now I can say where price is currently is a zone where market is creating, is a serious fight going on there between the buyers and the sellers, because currently we can see that the buyers, the sellers are weak because we are on the major zone, a major zone. Because of that, the sellers are weak. Let's go back to the weekly time frame to see that zone. So this is a zone. First of all, the market came to this zone before now. The market came to this place earlier February and went with a weak rejection. You can see the market came to this zone and immediately rejected from that zone and pushed to the upside. So before it's coming back to this zone now. But however, we have this major support level where the market retested it here and pulled to this downside. So I will not disregard that this market is a downtrend market. I will not disregard the fact that this market is a downtrend market. But however, this zone was rejected earlier before now, and this is where price is currently. So in the next 24 hours, this candlestick will be closing. In the next 24 hours, this candlestick will be closing. And once this candlestick closes, what it simply means is that the sellers are very strong in the market. What it simply means is that the sellers are very strong in the market because the buyers took how many candlesticks around the zone from this point? The buyers took how many candlesticks to the upside? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 candlesticks. Buyers took 14 candlesticks. It took them 14 candlesticks to get to this point. Why the sellers just took 1, 2, 3, and a major fourth candlestick to pull what the buyers are struggling to take to the upside. What it simply means is that the buyers are getting weak in the market. The buyers are getting weak in the market. And if this holds, automatically what you are going to be expect, what you are going to be seeing in the market, if the market is able to break this zone, if it's able to break this, it probably comes back to test it. Probably come back to test it. We are going to be a drop in the market. Now we are still going to drop it. If this holds, the market is able to break out from this zone, the market is able to break out from this zone, we're going to see the market retest, then we're going to have a massive. At that point, we might probably be looking at for Bitcoin on that position, then we might probably going to come back to $45,000. So if that holds, Bitcoin will be coming back to $45,000. But if it doesn't hold, then we are going to be seeing markets moving from this point. We are going to be seeing the market moving from this point. We are going to be seeing the market moving from the ups. Sorry. We are going to be seeing the market moving from this point back to the top. We are going to be seeing the market moving from this point back to the top. So this is a bigger picture. But however, as a day trader or a scalper, you don't have to necessarily wait for a market. You don't necessarily have to catch from this point to this point. You can take them gradually. That is why we have the lower time frame. That's how you can come to the lower time frame. So if you are joining, please double tap on your screen. On TikTok, double tap on your screen. So on the 1 hour time frame, you can see that the market was not giving us a proper or a good structure. The market is not giving us a good structure on the 1 hour time frame. Why it was dropping? It was not giving us a good structure. But however, you can see that the market is currently struggling here. Let me reduce this. Let me reduce this line. Oh, my network. So if you are joining, double tap on your screen and follow on TikTok. Hold on, my network. Okay. Now, you can see that the market is creating a lot of reactions here. The market is creating a lot of reactions here. Even yesterday, NFP, the market didn't sell a lot like other pair. We saw gold, massive sell. We saw GPPs, the massive sell, but BTC could not sell because of what? Because of this zone, because of this support zone, because of this support level. That was why BTC could not sell massive like the other pairs, like the GPP the gold, and the rest. So what it simply means is that this zone is a strong zone, and if the market could not break from this zone, then we are going to cannot break this zone. We are going to be heading back to the top. So as a day trader, the simple thing you need to do as a day trader, as a scalper and a day trader, the simple thing you need to do is just to come to the lower time frame and draw your trend line. So this is a trend line on the downtrend market. So you just draw your trend line. This trend line will hold. As long as this trend line, the market did not break this trend line, we are going to see the market ranging around this zone. If you can hear me on the Telegram, please indicate you can hear me. So we are going to see that this market will be ranging around this zone for a longer period of time, unless it breaks to the upside or breaks to the downside. Unless it breaks to the upside or breaks to the downside. So now, what are we going to do, or what are we expecting the market to do? We'll come back to the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, we cannot get a good picture of the charts. That's for the scalpers. You're going to get a good picture of the charts for the scalpers. So this is it on the 30-minute time frame. You can see what price is currently doing. So what I'm expecting now, let me draw something else so you can see. So you can see this. Now, on this time frame, on the 30-minute time frame, you can see that the market was creating lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So we are supposed to have a lower low. Let me draw so you can see. We have lower low, lower highs, lower low, lower high. We are supposed to have a lower low here, but the market failed to give us that lower low, and it came and create equal high with the previous high. Came and create equal high. However, we are still supposed to have another lower low, but the market failed to give us that lower low and gave us this like this. So currently, this market is giving us a chart pattern. This market is giving us a chart pattern currently. This is a chart pattern. This is the bearish triangular chart pattern, which tells you that the market wants to change trend. Most times the market change trend from downtrend to uptrend, or from uptrend to downtrend when you see this chart pattern. So if you go to the 15-minute time frame, if you come to the 15-minute time frame, here you can see it better and clearly. You can see that we are not having a higher highs and higher low, but we're having higher low, higher low, higher low. And we are supposed to be having a lower low if the market is meant to be coming down. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that what you need to do is just to identify this major zone here. Identify this zone. After identifying this zone, you wait for the market. If the market is able to break out from this zone, retest it. The market is able to break out from this zone, retest it, then we are going to be taking a buy to the upside. It's as simple as that. The market is able to break and retest that zone, we are going to be taking a buy to the upside. If you can hear me on Telegram, please let me know. Yeah, we are going to be taking a buy from this zone to the upside. Now, as a scalper, you don't necessarily need to do 1:10. You don't necessarily need to take 1,000 pips from the market. So all you need to do is just to take a good portion of the pips and a realistic take profit. Something you know that yes, this market is going to come to this zone. A realistic take profit. So we are going to be looking for a realistic take profit for this BTC USD. We are going to be looking for a realistic take profit for BTC USD. I wouldn't want to do 1:10, 1:15 because of 1:7, 1:5 because I'm looking for big thing in the market. So let's move to the left hand side to get our take profits. So our first take profit, you are going to see this resistant level. You are going to see this resistant level. That is where the market intends to come. And we still have a support level where the market could come. Let me not ignore this support level. Let me draw the support level. So there's a support level here. This support level here. The market reacted there. Here. We saw it here. And price could push to these points first. Price could push to this point before going to the upside. So, but why am I taking this resistant level? It's because whenever the market is going up, it always reacts or reverses from the resistant level whenever the market is going to the upside, not to the support level. So that is why I am taking this to be my take profits. That's why I'm taking this to be my take profit. However, you get to see some people saying TP1, TP2. This should be take profit 1 and take profit 2. So where do I set my stop loss? If I'm to set my stop loss, it's as simple as just bringing it below this zone, below this particular zone where price is currently reacting. I don't know what is going to happen before price get to this point. So if the market give us a reasonable candle confirmation here, probably a bullish engulfing candlestick here, I could probably move my stop loss to the upper side. But to be at the safer side, my stop loss needs to be below this zone where the market could not break. It simply means since the market could not break out from this zone all this while, after coming to the upside, there's a high tendency that it will not come below this zone. Let me come again. Why I'm taking my stop loss below this zone? Let me identify the zone. Why I'm taking my stop loss below this zone here is because if the market cannot break out from this zone to the downside now, and it happens to break this trend line to the upside, there's a high tendency that the market will not come back to break this zone. There's a high tendency that the market will not come back to break this zone. So that is why I am putting my stop loss below the zone. That's why I'm putting my stop loss below this zone. And since I'm putting my stop loss below this zone, I just shift it a little bit, like a few pips away from it, and my take profits where it is. So this is a good risk to reward. This is a 15-minute time frame. On this trade, my stop loss is 73 pips. This is BTC, so you intend to see higher this in volatility. So my stop loss is 73 pips, and my take profit is 220 pips, which is a good risk to reward. 220 pips and 73 pips stop loss on gold and BTC. Their volatility is usually high, so you get to see a bigger stop loss on those pairs. So initially on other pairs like the GBP USD, the USD CAD, Euro USD, most of my stop loss is usually 20 pips, 25 to 30 pips. But on this pair, sometimes we go up to 100 pips. We even go to 100 pips on gold as a stop loss. So this is what I'll be expecting on BTC USD on any moment from now. So why the market is basically slow is because other pairs are the market is closed. So sometimes when the market is closed, it affects Bitcoin. Bitcoin is usually open, but it's always slow. So you don't see it moving as fast as it's supposed to move. So that is why the market is slow. So however, probably by Sunday night, we are going to see the market breaking out from this zone. But if it does, what do I need to do? I just come to this point, set my alert. So I've set my alert. I don't need to start looking at the market continuously. Once the market gets to this point, it just notify me that your BTC USD has come to $61,000. Then I'll come back, look at it. If it's a good time for me to take my entry, I take entry. If it's not the best time, I hold on and know what next to do. So this is this for the BTC USD. So if the market breaks out from these points, my take profits will be $63,216 on BTC. 63,216. Then my stop loss is 60,600. My stop loss is 60,600, and my take profit is 63,216. So those are the stop loss and take profits for BTC on the buy side. So, but if the buy doesn't hold, we are going to be seeing this. If the buy doesn't hold, that means if the market is able to break out from this zone, then we are going to be seeing this. We're going to be seeing this movement like this, and we'll be taking ourselves from this point to the downside. So that is that for BTC. If you have any question on the live here on TikTok, please. If you have any question on TikTok, let me also attend to you guys on TikTok. So on Telegram, any question? So I'll be doing market insights. I'll be doing market insights and this thing. I'll be doing market insights probably twice a week, Saturday and midweek on pairs that I'll be looking at to trade within the week and before the market opens. So every Saturday I'll be coming on online. I'll be live here analyzing what has happened in the market and what will happen. So if you're here, just give me one more pair to analyze quickly. Let me just summarize one pair that you want me to analyze here on TikTok. Give me one more pair you want me to summarize on. One more pair you want me to summarize. So at the essence of that, I'll be calling it a day. So for any question, you can just reach out to me, and I will be answering that privately. If you have any question, you can reach out to me. I'll be answering that privately. So peace out, peace out, peace out. Enjoy your weekend.